Hi guys, it's Candy here, back for the gratitude challenge. Yesterday I pulled this card from the Inner Child Fairy Tale Tarot, and I said I would spend a day thinking about it. Well, immediately from this imagery, I looked at this little gnome girl setting up this, it looks like some sort of altar or shrine or some meditation space. She's got her crystals and her candles lit. She's on a rainbow mat. It looks nice and cosy and it's cold outside. And it made me think about all of the spaces I've got around my own house that are very similar to this, or my altars or sacred spaces, you can call them whichever you want, that are quite new to my house. Probably about 7 years ago, my house was quite dark. It was dark purple walls, dark wooden furniture everywhere. No altars or sacred spaces or meditation spots anywhere in the house at all. So this card wouldn't have triggered the same thoughts at all. But now my house is full of different altars, and this card just made me grateful for that. So I thought I'd share some of those spaces today. Now I've got this one behind me. I'm in my bedroom at the minute, and this is my main altar, and it's my space where I can shut the door and attempt to get a little bit of quiet time for, like, say, 10 minutes meditation, or I'm working on stepping into the witchcraft as well, so practicing different things, I can do that here. It's also a space where I can honour the deities I work with, so namely the Morrigan, who I worked with for years. I worked with the Morrigan for years, not even knowing that I was working with the Morrigan. And then recently the Morrigan handed me over to Bridget, so they're both represented up there. It's where I celebrate and decorate for the Wheel of the Year and the different Sabbats. It's just a really nice space to have. It's the most exotic nightlight ever. For the Letha altar, I started adding some of my own artwork in, which was really nice. And you can see there are fairies on there as well for the March of the Fairies. You can see the different elements to do with the goddesses. So the swans are for Bridget. There's candles on there for meditation and trance work. It's just a really lovely space to have. Also downstairs in my lounge, I've started building another goddess altar. This one is mostly swans. Now, I've always collected swans. Right from my early 20s, I've got swan pictures, swan ornaments. I think it stemmed from my love of the story The Ugly Duckling, and that idea of transformation and hope. And like true love, and just that whole imagery of swans. And also, as a single mom, that idea of the swan looks graceful on top of the water, but if you looked underneath the water, the feet are pedalling like mad. That kind of appeals as a single mom with 3 kids. So swans on lots of levels are important to me. And when I first met Bridget, she came to me in a meditation, and I'd always worked with the Morrigan. I had no idea about any other goddesses. Couldn't really have named any of them. Certainly not Bridget. And I was meditating one day, and the Morrigan came in and had brought Bridget with her and almost handed me over to Bridget. And all I saw was this woman with long hair and this amazing cloak on. And as I looked, all the people in my past that have either betrayed me or done real damage in the past, and people I'm no contact with, they all appeared around the edge of her, and her cloak began to expand. And it's like her cloak knocked them all off the world. It was the most amazingly clear image. And as that happened, the Morrigan left, and it felt like the Morrigan had literally handed me over. So I came out of the meditation a bit bemused and immediately ran to Google and actually typed in, is there a goddess with a cloak that expands? and up came loads of stories, Bridget and her expanding cloak. So I was amazed at that and clicked on the stories and the mythology around her, and everything fitted. And then I found out that one of the animals that she's represented by is the swan. With a house full of swans, it just seemed meant to be. So now I'm working very gratefully with Bridget. So that space down in the lounge is for her. Also in the lounge, there's an animal altar that I've just started. Animal energy has really helped me through some difficult times. The Morrigan came to me every time that the trauma is around. She got me through probably the most traumatic 5 years of my life. And I've had visitations with ravens and crows. This altar doesn't as yet have any ravens or crows on. That's something I'm looking to find. But it does have an octopus on, because the octopus spirit as well has really supported me over the years. And again, you can see the swan. So that's 3 altars. So my main one, the goddess altar, and an animal altar in my lounge. But also in the kitchen, I've started very recently started building 2 new altars. So they're not in any way finished. Just felt like I needed to get some pathways up for my dad. But I've been really reluctant to work with any ancestors or ancestry lines. For a start, I don't really understand any of it yet. And secondly, I'm very aware that there are abusive patterns within my family. And I very much view my role in the family as breaking circles of abuse. I feel that's what I've been called to do. You know, it stops with me. So there are circles that are generational, and I feel that it's been my call to stop that. So opening up lines to ancestors, I've not really wanted to delve in too deeply while I've been recovering from things. But my dad was a gentle, kind soul, and I just kept getting the call to start building an ancestor altar and to delve more into it. So it's a very small altar. I've put a couple of things about Irish Terriers on there as well, which is my beloved Maisie, who I had for 14 years, a naughty little brown dog who I missed desperately. So she's on there with my dad, 2 amazing souls. And also in my kitchen, this is slightly tragic but quite funny, so I thought I'd share. I felt a call to start building a love altar. I know, and you can see by what's on there that I've not had much of a call yet to work with it. I've just started it. There is a clay bust that my son, my 10-year-old son, made me, and we had the most amazing thing happen. He gave me this clay bust, and I put it on the shelf and thought, that's just lovely. And I thought, it needs a name. And the way it stares out at the world, I thought, wow, that feels like the part of me now that can see things clearly and is boundaried and trusts my gut. And I'm going to call that, I think I'm going to call him the Watcher. And as I thought that, my son walked in the kitchen behind me and said, you need to give that a name, Mum. I think you should call it the Watcher. Which was just the most amazing coincidence. The Watcher sits on my love altar, along with a couple of swans that swim as a pair with hearts on. I may possibly look at putting some spell work on there. And if you're wondering why the Watcher is wearing a badge around his neck saying bloody difficult woman, then the last relationship I had, which was about 3 years ago, he bought me that. He told me I was a bloody difficult woman. And by bloody difficult woman, I think it can be more truthfully read as a woman who trusts her gut and won't put up with disrespect or bullshit. It's amazing, isn't it, as women, when we call out a lack of integrity, we're called difficult. So that's on there to remind me to continue to be a bloody difficult woman moving forward in love, because I'm after the type of love that has got respectful behaviour going on behind the scenes, as well as where you can see. So yes, I am a bloody difficult woman and proud of it. So there are a number of altars around the house that this little girl made me think of, sat on her rainbow mat, which I'm incredibly grateful for. Now, I did shuffle and pull the cards last night for my new card, forgetting that I was doing this. I haven't pulled it on camera, but I pulled this one, the Five of Hearts. And I thought, oh, it's got a heart in. Perhaps this is time to pursue love. But then I realised it was a 5. So let's possibly wait on that for a while. Let's not pursue the love altar while we've pulled a 5. So this is the card I will be pondering and getting back about tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed that. A little quick gratitude for my sacred spaces and my altars in the house. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.